Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of SpongeBob Now. Today, I will be talking about Chimps Ahoy and Ghost Host. First, I'm going to talk about Chimps Ahoy. Enjoy! As the episode starts, SpongeBob and Patrick receive the official Goofy Goober backscratcher and try it out on each other. They decide to go see Sandy to see if she would like to use it. But upon reaching the tree dome, they find Sandy in a panic. She explains to the two that her bosses, the chimpanzee beneficiaries, are paying a visit to see what progress she has made with her inventions, but Sandy doesn't think any of her work will satisfy the chimps, and if they don't like what she's invented, Sandy could lose her funding, forcing her to leave Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick decide to help their distraught friend by taking over her work and finishing her inventions for her. At first, Patrick has ideas of things that have already been invented, such as a pencil and a mirror, which ironically is actually a parallel universe. After hours of hard work, SpongeBob and Patrick invent a back-scratching, hair-combing, nose-picking ukulele tuner. When the chimps arrive, Lord Reginald is the first to test it. Shockingly, the invention works, but has kinks as it feeds him pudding, and when tuning the ukulele, the machine malfunctions, hits Reginald with the ukulele, slaps him, then starts attacking him with all sorts of weapons. Meanwhile, Sandy hears the screaming of Reginald and arrives just as the machine spits out Reginald. The chimps decide to close down the tree dome, but when Dr. Marmalade holds out a banana, Sandy's Nutcracker peels it for him. It is revealed that this is an invention that chimps have been searching hundreds of years for. They chatter excitedly and decide to let Sandy stay for 20 more years, including a higher salary. After the chimps leave, the episode finishes with Patrick deciding to test out the machine that injured Reginald, which of course, malfunctions on him, yet he screams in pain and still yells out, "All right." Next, I'm going to talk about Ghost Host. Enjoy! This episode opens up on one night, by showing the Flying Dutchman's ship sailing through the seas, but cannot see very well due to heavy fog. His ship then hits a rock and breaks. The Flying Dutchman then calls for repair, giving him residence at SpongeBob's house, where he proceeds to scare, startle, and surprise SpongeBob around the clock. SpongeBob gets scared and goes to Squidward for help, but unfortunately, he doesn't believe in ghosts. He slams the door in SpongeBob's face. He soon turns to Patrick for help, but he just closes his door out of fear. Then he hears Gary crying for help. SpongeBob enters his house to stop the Flying Dutchman. He then says that he just wanted to pet Gary, only to reveal that it was a trick by eating him. SpongeBob despairs about the death of Gary, until Gary appears behind him with no explanation. Soon, the Flying Dutchman begins to take much amusement in terrifying SpongeBob repeatedly. Eventually, all the spooky shenanigans grow old, and SpongeBob and all of the citizens of Bikini Bottom are no longer afraid of the Dutchman. This creates a panic for the old ghost, who now fears that he has lost his touch. So, SpongeBob decides to lend a hand and help the Flying Dutchman learn to scare people again. Unfortunately, his first attempt doesn't work until the customer on the mattress screams from the startling notice of the mattress salesman. The second attempt also doesn't work, since the Flying Dutchman gets hit by a jump rope. The third attempt doesn't work when an old lady mistakes him for someone else. He decides to give up. Now 6 months later, SpongeBob realizes that the Flying Dutchman and houseguests is trashing his place and tells him to get active by getting the Flying Dutchman to watch a self-awareness video about some mysterious people saying, "The power within," constantly. The next attempt, however, does not work when Larry thought that he had a flab on his pecs. The Flying Dutchman tells SpongeBob that he has decided to give up, since maybe people don't believe in ghosts anymore. This gives him an idea, with SpongeBob telling the Flying Dutchman to try to scare Squidward since he doesn't believe in ghosts. The Flying Dutchman is interested, and he goes to Squidward's house and successfully scares him, as he is horrified to learn that he was wrong about ghosts, and he runs out through the walls of the house, frantically screaming that such things exist. SpongeBob compliments the Flying Dutchman, who finally has the nerve to scare people again. He then has a confession to make, and he tells SpongeBob that his ship had been repaired for 3 months. The Flying Dutchman leaves on his ship while giving SpongeBob a humble present with a scary surprise, but the episode ends when SpongeBob laughs at it, even though he gets eaten by the surprise. We're halfway done with Season 4. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos. Goodbye everyone.